God the giver. Of all the parables in the Gospels, that of the prodigal son affords, I think, the supreme illustration of the way to please God. The Father says, "It was meet to make merry and be glad." Luke chapter 15, verse 32. And in these words, Jesus reveals what it is that in the sphere of redemption supremely rejoices his Father's heart. It is not an elder brother who toils incessantly for the Father, but a younger brother who lets the Father do everything for him. It is not an elder brother who always wants to be the giver, but a younger brother who is always willing to be the receiver. When the prodigal returned home, having wasted his substance in riotous living, the father had not a word of rebuke for the waste, nor a word of inquiry regarding the substance. He did not sorrow over all that was spent. He only rejoiced over the opportunity the son's return afforded him for spending more. God is so wealthy that his chief delight is to give. His treasure stores are so full that it is painful to him when we refuse him an opportunity of lavishing those treasures upon us. It was the Father's joy that he could find in the prodigal an applicant for the robe, the ring, the shoes, and the feast. It was his sorrow that in the elder son he found no such applicant. It is a grief to the heart of God when we try to provide things for him. He is so very, very rich. It gives him true joy when we just let him give and give and give again to us. It is a grief to him, too, when we try to do things for him, for he is so very, very able. He longs that we will just let him do and do and do. He wants to be the giver eternally, and he wants to be the doer eternally. If only we saw how rich and how great he is, we would leave all the giving and all the doing to him. Do you think that if you cease trying to please God, your good behavior will cease? If you leave all the giving and all the working to God, do you think the result will be less satisfactory than if you do some of it? It is when we seek to do it ourselves that we place ourselves back again under the law. But the works of the law, even our best efforts, are dead works, hateful to God because ineffectual. In the parable, both sons were equally far removed from the joys of the Father's house. True, the elder son was not in the far country, yet he was only at home in theory. These many years do I serve thee, and yet, Luke chapter 15, verse 29, his heart had not found rest. His theoretical position could never, as did the prodigal's, come to be enjoyed by him while he still clung to his own good works. Just you stop giving, and you will prove what a giver God is. Stop working, and you will discover what a worker he is. The younger son was all wrong, but he came home and he found rest, and that is where Christian life begins. God, being rich in mercy for his great love wherewith he loved us, made us to sit with him in the heavenly places in Christ Jesus. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 4 and verse 6. It was meet to make merry and be glad. Luke chapter 15, verse 32.